Granted, I need to switch accounts now. Anyways, we are now live on YouTube. So hey, anyone tuning in during or after the fact really does mean a lot. Thank you guys. I hope you do enjoy the broadcast. I'm sorry neighbor said a bad word.
A big no word.
Yeah, he left on his own accord. Uh, it's his choice, his life.
Hmm.
But we do apologize for the bad word. Uh, he understands he can't say it, but like yeah, people make mistakes. People forget. If we get in trouble by YouTube, it's understandable, but we've already taken the precautions. We deleted the VOD, started the new
Hmm.
broadcast. Everything should be fine. But that being said, the podcast will no longer be as long as it normally is, or extended versions. We're gonna go for like the next 35 minutes. So I do
Hmm.
apologize for the short one, but it should be a good one.
Hmm.
Sorry, my head hurts.
Ah, it's fair, bro. As far as I know.
No, I'm kind of having like a sugar crash.
Did you like drink something like recently? Red Bull, Monster,
Vodka.
anything? Vodka. Okay, so good.
No, I've,
Keeps you up early.
I've been
Hmm?
working all day. Oh yeah, that
Mm.
reminds me. They're not gonna know anything we talked about already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, your podcast, they won't.
A little bit, yeah. If anyone's viewed here, just so you know, anyone in advance, the VOD will be deleted as well too, in due respect because of neighbors. No word. So I just me and Aries already explained it to him saying we shouldn't say those words, so it's just a little FYI for y'all.
Oh,
So if you see the VOD gone, it's gone.
oh, oof! I stood up. My back hurts.
Hmm. But yeah, we'll be, if in my side we'll be repeating some topics, but for Aries side it's a new side. So anybody just hopping on, I hope you enjoyed the video and the live stream of it. Leave a like and subscribe for the Outlaws on Aries side.
And please comment down below, calling me a bitch.
Hmm.
I did a little thumbs up. I know you couldn't see it.
I don't think I could.
I mean, unless you're watching on YouTube.
Oh, I have it in the background.
Okay, so if anyone is wondering why I'm in pain, I was uh I did a lot of work today. I stacked like 3 cords, 3.5 cords of wood, somewhere in that ballpark.
Mhm.
Uh, I already had the wood stacked, but we needed to move it in preparation of something else that's happening. So we had to move the wood, level a new terrain, and then stack the wood in another place. And I was hucking wood and doing all that. And
Mhm.
I just did a lot of work. I've been awake since like 5 a.m. So if you're wondering like why my skin is 2 shades of different color, because like this is straight up dirt. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like uh, I'm a dirty boy. I plan to take a shower, but as I was like taking a break, Tom texted me and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "We doing a podcast?" I'm like, "I love you."
uh, I've been AFK for quite a while for these past few weeks because this night's classes. That it's a nightmare. I can tell you that. It's just medication over medication.
Here, I have an easier way to prove that it's dirty as fuck. Okay, are you watching? Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can easily tell a difference, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Oh yeah, I can see like a whole like
Well, you can see the line right here.
Yeah, I could see the line.
Yeah, like that's. I was wearing gloves, obviously, but yeah, like
Yeah,
I'm covered. Like yeah,
yeah, your whole skin is covered with dirt, that's for sure.
yeah. So
That big one.
you can see what I'm saying. Like I've done a
Hmm.
lot of work.
Oh yeah, big time.
My neighbors, dude. As we're doing this, guy, um,
Hmm.
that's why I have that speaker behind me.
Hmm.
That speaker, I ran an extension cord, and
Hmm.
I had it playing in my carport, and I was blasting music. Um, I have a neighbor in a certain location who was like going out consistently checking her mail. You got to keep in mind it was like 8 in the morning. The mail's not
Damn.
going to be delivered that fast. Okay, it usually gets here around lunch, but either way, she's like consistently checking her mail like every 30 minutes, and she's like staring at me, trying to get my attention. Like, hey, can you turn it down? And I'm just like, huh, pretty gone. But um, we would be working and like this truck was like consistently passing us, and it was really weird.
Hmm.
It's my other neighbor, and they were just like, oh, we're curious, we want to see what they're doing, because on one side of our property we're stacking, chopping wood, doing that shit, leveling terrain. On the other
Hmm.
side of the property we have a fucking truck with a trailer, we have a suburban, there's a bonfire and all this other shit because we're burning random materials. And
Hmm.
at a certain point, we even went onto that side of the deck and cut off a section of the fucking wall to make wider gaps so this way we can load workout equipment onto the deck and shit. So they're just like passing us, like, oh, we're curious. We want to be nosy. What's going on over there? And we're just like, hey, like, man, fuck you. Yeah, my neighbors, they're not nice. I have neighbors who go for my trash, find our detergent, and then knock on our door
Hmm.
saying, "Hey, you shouldn't use this detergent. It's bad for not only your clothing and your skin, but the environment as well." And I'm just like, "You're trespassing on our
Um,
property. You need to leave now."
so they're lovely Karens. Like they like to nitpick for something that it's not in their control to begin with.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty annoying. And imagine the fact that I get you, recycle is important, but you shouldn't be snooping into other people's property just because you want to annoy them and make yourself feel better about yourself.
yeah, but at the same time, it's like it's none of your business who's gonna give a shit.
Oh yeah, big time. It's like honestly, yeah, I'm surprised you get lenience over here. It's like, oh, you go to someone's property, yeah, you're gonna get shot
Oh
or
no,
get hurt.
no. Like we can do the same shit here. We're even flying a black flag, man.
Damn.
Like we erected a flagpole. We have three flags: the American flag, the Marine Corps flag, and then the American flag but black.
Mm,
So it indicates, hey, you come onto our territory, you fuck with us, you ain't leaving the territory in one piece.
mm. Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it basically says fuck around, find out.
Hmm. Ours is like we take it serious regardless of who comes in and out. You really have to have a good reason. That's like,
See, for us, like you're good, we're good. You
hmm.
got a problem, and you make it our problem, we'll resolve the problem.
Hmm.
Simple.
Hmm.
I mean, like, you know how like the population of the United States is like for every person there's 120 guns.
I think so. If I remember that, yeah. How come?
Well, there's four people in my house.
Damn.
You do the math.
Oh yeah. One after another. If you're going after one, you're going after the rest.
Yeah, and I mean we already have contingency plans. We're planning on manufacturing ammunition.
Mm,
Like,
makes sense.
yeah, God, I really need to take a shower. Like, what the fuck?
I could imagine like when you shower, all the dirt is gonna just like splatter, like drench over it.
Yeah. It's like it stains my body and it's like never gonna be washed off again.
Takes 2 months. Like, I finally got the last speck of dirt. Gets dirty again. Gosh darn it.
You know, all right, hey, you want to hear this? Fucking annoys the shit out of me.
Hmm.
You know, it's a misdemeanor if you donate blood now, if you've been vaccinated for COVID.
That's weird though. Like just a misdemeanor. Like honestly,
It's a misdemeanor. If you've been vaccinated for COVID and you donate blood, it is a misdemeanor.
that's a weird law. Honestly, that is something that not a lot of people do know. And it sucks that if you just go in to donate blood and you're already vaccinated, how would you know you caused a misdemeanor?
Think
Uh,
about it like this, right? If
mhm.
you get pulled over by the cops and the cop asks you to step out of the car and you refuse, did you break the law or not?
No.
You did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See, the thing is like you don't know all the laws. You're not a fucking lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, uh, there's so many like little things within it. But if a cop asks you to step out of the car legally, you have to step out of the car.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That reminds me of the concept of our instructor saying like if you take two ibuprofen medications, you technically broke the law.
Yeah.
You're
But at
supposed
the
to be
same
only,
time,
only take.
if a cop asks you for your ID and you refuse, did you break the law?
Technically, yeah.
Yes and
Or
no.
no.
If it's a vehicle, you're driving a vehicle, yes,
Hmm.
you broke the law. But if you're walking and like you're just walking on the side of the street, cop walks up, show me your ID. That's not a lawful order.
Hmm.
But if you're like, you know, gonna go to jail, like you're going to jail, that you're in handcuffs, you're in the back of a cruiser, you're going to jail, and you
Hmm.
conceal your identity, yeah, that's another charge.
Yeah. I just wish that the minor laws, including any laws in general, should be taught. I wish they were just taught by the public
Yeah, but
because
here's the
it.
thing. What irritates the fuck out of me, I'm sorry, I almost forgot about this. I remembered this as why we started talking about this. Okay?
Mm,
What irritates the fuck out of me, okay? The blood donating thing. My blood's become more rare.
mm,
I'm already A negative, so like, American Red Cross are like, hey, we want your blood. Can we schedule an appointment? And it's like, hey, it's illegal for people to donate blood who have been, given the COVID vaccine. So therefore, this guy's blood is a lot more rare now.
mhm.
So in July, in like the middle of July, they scheduled an appointment for me.
Damn.
September. It's in September. At the end of September. I'm not saying exactly when because people could like utilize that. But like, what the fuck? They scheduled the appointment 2 months in advance. Like,
They're really that desperate for you.
yeah, because my blood goes to like 40% of the population here in the States.
Oh yeah, I know that blood is important for a lot of people, including O negative people.
Yeah. And I have proof. You want me to show proof?
No, I believe you 100%.
Because I've donated in double digits. I don't know how much, but all I have to do is like open the app on my phone and I can just show.
Mm, not for you on that one.
I'll do it.
Just make just make sure you don't show your like valuable information.
Nah. Besides, people can find that shit easily. All they have to do look up is like go into Pornhub or something. Wait, what?
I remember specifically there has been a lot of crazy people that just like literally find little details and they already know where the person lives, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at that wall, square centimeter. He must live in so and so. I'm like, how? It's like how?
Okay, so I'm already covering the important information, and which is like my next scheduled appointment. Okay,
Hmm.
but this should be it. It's kind of blurry and bright. You can see like the A negative, right? Like, wrong side. Fucking hell, hard to do this shit. I can't bend my finger that way. fuck it. You can see a negative, and then you can see 11.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That, yeah.
Yeah.
And if anyone has the Red Cross app, they can see that that is the Red Cross app.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, my name is MacGyver. Fuck off. But yeah, I understand it's blurry, but yeah, I wasn't gonna try and take a fucking screenshot and send it to Tom and then have him dox me.
Nah. I just don't want to accidentally dox you either.
Yeah, but like it literally shows like the next scheduled appointment on there,
Mm-hmm.
like just in the front home page, you know. So it's like, fuck,
Oh
man.
well, that happens.
Yeah, it's all good. You know, life is a bitch, and she doesn't fight fair.
Oh yeah, that's
This
a
is why
fair
we
truth.
drink.
Speaking of which, ah, that's a really tough. I think about it makes me think about like all the laws that we don't know specifically that can get us in trouble.
Yeah, no, there's a fuckload, man.
Yeah. I know that the one here in Texas is if you actually put like a donkey in a bathtub, that's considered a. I don't know if it's a fine for sure, but
I
it's
thought that was
against the
Arizona.
law.
I thought that was
Huh?
Arizona.
Oh, here in Texas, it's still considered the same thing too.
I thought that was only in Arizona.
I don't know. Texas is weird. They grab a little bit of here and there from Arizona or other places.
Well, here in Idaho, if you spit on the fucking sidewalk, you committed a crime.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you spit in the sidewalk?
Yeah, if you spit and it lands on the sidewalk.
Well, I can see a couple friends being sent to jail for no reason for that.
I think it's like a fine, and it's just, I don't think they get like thrown up.
Yeah, I don't think they will pay the fine for that.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You know,
So yeah,
I find it fucking weird. Like, do you consider bicycles like vehicle transportation or like walking pedestrian?
walk-in pedestrian. I think if I remember, but I don't think they're considered vehicles over here.
So in my area, if
Mm-hmm.
you are riding your bicycle on
Mm-hmm.
the sidewalk, and yeah, that also includes rollerblades or skateboarding,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that is $1,500 fine.
Okay, that's insane.
That's if it's on the sidewalk.
Technically, over here for us, it's like you can use the road with the bicycle as long as you signal. That's it.
Yeah, now here, if it's on the sidewalk, you committed the crime.
Damn.
Yeah. So like, yeah, everyone's like riding, in the streets and shit. And
Mm-hmm.
I was driving down Main Street to go somewhere. I forget where. I think it was to like I think it was to my Letterman's place where the dude crafts like holsters,
Mm-hmm.
And as I was driving in that general vicinity, there was a kid skateboarding, and he face planted because there was a fucking pothole,
Damn.
and he gets up and breaks his fucking board and starts walking on a sidewalk, and the cops pull up.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know if they like charged him, like, hey, you can't be riding that. It's like it's broken, Like I don't know what happened there. Yeah,
Hopefully they win okay, or at least a warning.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but I just find it really ridiculous.
Technically over here, if you were to get a fine or a toll fine or any type of fine, it's still considered an arrest.
Yeah,
Like literally an arrest. So it's like even if a police officer was not even present during that time,
and
in the cam.
it really
Hmm?
sucks about like the employer shit like on that, because like uh do you have a criminal background, like have you been arrested, and you have to say yes because that is considered an arrest. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what sucked because I was going through night classes and that's the first thing they wanted, background checks. And then when I found out, I was like, oh yeah, fines are considered an arrest. Like, did you have anyone in like fines back in the day? And I was like, yeah, but it was by mistake. It was a toll fine. If I paid it off, it was like that's still considered an arrest. And I was like, why? He's like, I paid it off. I'm like, yeah, but they caught you in camera, so you got the fine, but you got arrested.
Yeah, it's just
So
fucking bullshit.
yeah, I was like, well, that sucks. I'm like, yeah, that's how the law states, and it's there for the rest of your life. So that's what sucks the most. From the day we were born to now.
Yeah. I strongly believe our judicial system is entirely fucked.
Oh yeah, that one is that yeah, 100%. There's always gonna be a reason for someone to be in trouble just for to make money.
Yeah, but like, all right, yo, uh,
Mm,
I've been watching like a lot of like lackluster audit the audit, shit like that.
mm-hmm,
And there's this channel where it's just completely raw body camera footage from the cops.
mm-hmm,
So this YouTuber, this was on lackluster or audit the audit, I forget which one. This YouTuber, all he does is audit, okay? First Amendment audits. And he
mm-hmm,
went to the fucking, I think it was a library. It was a public building, and he was just straight up just filming the exterior on the sidewalk. That is it.
mm,
The police, I'm summarizing the story and I'm just going really fucking fast on it, but the police, they kicked him off the property. And like there's a story arc to it because like with the video they were like threatening him with arrest and all this other shit, being abusive power, all this, and they kicked the dude out of the property. But
mm-hmm,
after that, off camera, that is not disclosed, like disclosed as in any video format. It's not on body cameras. It is not filmed by this YouTuber or whatever.
mm-hmm,
This guy has been harassed by the cops so many times. Like he would be driving at a restaurant with his family, whatever. But one time in particular, and this was filmed, he was driving. He had just left work. He was
mm-hmm.
driving and he did not film it, but this is on the body camera footage. The cop walks up, doesn't say anything to him, and just starts tasing him.
Ooh,
Like straight up. Like imagine you're just there, like, oh, he's gonna fuck with me. He's probably gonna try and give me a ticket or something like that. Both hands on the steering wheel, I have my license or registration. Cop walks up, doesn't say a fucking word, and taser. You know where
damn.
one of the prongs landed though?
Mm,
In his front bottom lip.
ooh, it's gotta hurt.
Yeah. He is currently suing, and I do not know how much, but that is like, I do keep in mind I've seen a lot more stories that have just recently happened, and I've seen
Mm-hmm.
stories from 2018. And if we talked about it, we would be demonetized because of the graphic nature of it.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah,
It's just a lot of yeah, corruption between all sides.
yeah, but like there, there's a story I really want to fucking talk about it
Mm-hmm,
because like this lady, she deserves to have like this massive lawsuit. I'm really pissed she settled,
mm-hmm,
but like she was suing for I think like $3 million or it was like 38 million. I don't know, but
mm-hmm.
she settled and I think she got like 100,000.
Damn.
Yeah, but like the cop, uh, like when your windpipe is getting crushed, how you wheeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were 2 to 3 steps away from the police cruiser. She wasn't fighting the officer at all, and he threw her to the ground, and that's the sound she was making as his knee was on her.
Ooh.
Yeah, it gets worse. He also uh patted down particular areas very well
Mm,
in front of other officers who did not stop or hesitate him. And
mm.
while she was being restrained by a different officer, he was patting down the front. And when she tried to pull away, he slammed her head into the hood of the car.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't blame the lawsuit then.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's messed up. Honestly, it is really messed up on what's happening.
But like, there's a lot of shit I'm leaving out, you know?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like, like it's very fine, but those are like the core main details in that. And it's just like, I'm not saying all cops are bad. I'm not saying all cops are good. I'm saying there needs to be a better system. And I don't mean to defund the entire cops. I don't mean to rework the entire structure as a whole. I'm just stating the best way to do it
Oh
would
yeah, like restructure.
to be implementing a brand new system within it that oversees the entire system as a whole, as a government entity that is ran by the public.
So kind of like a different board meeting or.
So think about it like this, right? How
Mhm.
much does it cost for body camera footage?
I really don't know. That depends.
So that all does not depend. Uh,
Mm,
it's all about what the police department wants to set the price to.
mm,
So, for example, on Audit the Audit, there's a
mhm,
particular video he made where the entire body camera footage was censored.
mhm.
The entire thing was censored. It was just a blur,
Ooh,
the entire thing. And it wasn't like, to protect the identities or whatever. It was just the entire screen. They just did the entire screen. And the entire video cost him over $2,500. Do
just for
you
the
know
video?
how many guns I could buy with that money?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
man, I'd be
they're
buying GoPros and like buying airsoft rifles and like going to airsoft tournaments and just like, using military training, just like clear, fuck, like, like I love that shit,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. I could imagine the reason for that too is like, dude, that's messed up. Like just for the video itself. I'm like, oh, you want the video? You gotta pay a high price for it.
But see, they set the price to whatever they want. So if they don't want you to get the video, they jack it
I know.
high.
Oh yeah, and I'm not surprised. There does need to be a regulation from that too.
Yes, but how do you get the regulation?
You have to make it into a law, sadly.
Because all the police are state owned, right?
Yeah.
If you make a federal program that is ran by the American people,
Mm-hmm.
and you have like, I would say a board of like 20 people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm saying this because it needs to be an even number to
Mm-hmm.
make it work. If you make it an odd number, then that's when buying of seats happen. If you make it even, then you can choose like 10 demographic of Democrats and then 10 for the demographic of the Republicans.
Oh yeah, that actually would be better because an even foot would be like more of a equality debate between one another.
But see, the policies that could get implemented in there would
Mm-hmm.
directly be like below fucking Congress.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if like, it's the way to speed up the program because like when you go through like a lawsuit and you're gonna bring it up on Congress, how long do you have to wait?
Almost a year, or depending how long.
Years.
Yeah, yeah,
Straight up
like years.
years. Yeah. So if you make a parliament directly below Congress, just like an extra little branch to the side that just like
Mm-hmm.
helped police the entire nation,
Mm-hmm.
we could pass new policies so much easier, and it would actually not only just been looked by the American people, but it would also have been looked by, the state of Congress. And if us as the Americans wanted this bill to be passed and Congress did not allow it, there'd be serious representations to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I know too much information.
Yeah, but the only thing at the end is they do need a big background check, regardless of who's going into that board. A big one, a serious one.
I would say it's elected, like us as the people.
Oh yeah, like of course that part would be elected, but I would say seriously a background check would be necessary
Well,
once the election of all those
it's
people.
it's hard to do the background check
Mm-hmm.
because if we do the election, it's being elected by the president, right? Like the president.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would say like if you are to run, you can't have like any felonies.
Yeah,
I would say like misdemeanors, yeah, sure. Tickets, yeah, sure. But like felonies, or if like
that,
you're a kid lover,
yeah,
they should not be allowed.
yeah. That's what I'm meaning, like restrictions, like
Yes.
certain restrictions.
But I would say it
Because
should be open to the public and the public elects those particular people, and that ballot could go at the same time as like the presidential election, and we rotate the 20 people every 4 years alongside with the presidential one. So then this way we don't have to invent new structure. It's all just implemented within the same.
true. And what age group would you would prefer actually when you think about it?
I would
Like
say frontal cortex needs to be developed in the people, and depending upon drugs and other stuff, that could hesitate the growth development upon the frontal cortex. So I would
that would be
say
25 to older, because
no, I would say
technically,
older than 25. I would say like 26, 27 up.
mm, okay.
Because like if you smoked pot before you're 18, it could stun your brain growth by 2 years.
Oh yeah, depending. I know that our brain cells stop producing at the age of 25, so if you actually like drink too much heavily, you can lose a lot of brain cells. That is unrecoverable.
Yes. And for women, uh, the end your the end of their frontal cortex development is like what, 18 to like 22.
Maybe. It's still mixed though, but supposedly that's their age range, I think, if I
Yeah,
remember.
but then for males it's like the opposite. The beginning starts when we're like 18 and ends when we're 25.
Yeah, 25 to 26. I remember some studies are saying, it's 30, but
Yeah,
it's still a mix.
but it's 30 because of drugs.
Oh yeah, depending on the drugs, yeah.
Yeah, but see, something else I would do in this, if I could
Mm-hmm.
make this actually pass, I want to make it so that it's locked behind like education, like, oh, you need a master's degree.
Mm.
I want to do that because college is a waste of fucking money.
Oh yeah, it can be a scheme out of that for sure, 100%.
Yeah, but at the same time, like you got people like me who have an almost perfect photographic memory, along with the fact that are willing to just dedicate their lives to just one fucking cause and just like disregard almost everything else and just care solely upon that one thing to make it perfect.
So basically, it should be open regardless of a degree and no degree.
I would
But
say
like,
like you don't need a degree.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. People without degrees and then people with degrees. It just varies, but open for both.
yeah. Uh, I gotta use the restroom. I'll be back, but tell me what your thoughts are on that.
I would say it's like a good idea, but then at the same time, it just needs a little bit more restrictions, honestly. Like that's why I say background check for a reason. Depends how well you do the background check because you don't want to have like corruption seeping through that. And also whoever gets elected too as well too can vary, but as long as there's non-biased type of voting range, that is still good in my vote. As for anything else, you also have to double check what are certain restrictions as well too for those people that are making the policies. We want to make sure they're not being buyed out too. So I would say it's a good idea regardless. It's just I feel like there just needs a little bit, like, more into depth of the structure, just in case there aren't open loopholes for malice, of course. Because there's always going to be a certain person out there that's going to try to break the system as it is. Now, as for education wise, yeah, you are correct. It doesn't have to be a person with a degree or a non degree, as long as they have a good moral stance. So, which, of course, interviews will be necessary. And I guess there will have to be questions, certain answers they have to reply to, and also certain morality checks on those persons too, because you just don't want to end up electing a crazy person as well too. So as far as I know, it's just a little here and there depth. As hmm, when thinking about it,
Well, all right.
let's
Hey, so with the corruption, how do
yeah,
you unelect the president of the United States?
impeach them.
Yeah, and
I
even
think
then, that is not even really a good cure. But the thing is when you unelect a sheriff, that's even easier to do because you just need a public vote, right?
yeah.
So, how to make this go into effect is that the people that we elect, they are on a 4-year term. So, if they were to be bought out,
Hmm.
well, guess what? Their term is, 4 years. Okay, it's not going to last that long. However, they still have to go up against 19 other motherfuckers unless they bought like the other 10 motherfuckers. And if they can't like come to terms on an agreement, we can just have Congress look over and just like, hey, what the fuck is wrong with you bitches?
Hmm.
At the same time, if we don't like them, we can literally vote them out.
Oh yeah, there should be a vote for the people as well too to say we just don't want them in general for running because it
Yes. And
sometimes if you just leave it to Congress, they can just say whatever they feel like is necessary.
but also you stated that like interviews should be had. Fuck that.
Yeah,
It should be publicized.
or publicized too.
Like
Yeah.
debated. That's what I mean. Like we get all the motherfuckers and then we have them debate and fight. And then like the people who start winning the votes and then the people who have less votes, they get taken out the board.
Well, that would be a better thing too.
We run
It's just
exactly like the presidential shit.
hmm
Simple.
pretty fair.
Four
Like I
year
said.
terms. Every year
Hmm.
new president, every year new police committee.
Hmm. The only thing is that will come into question though. I think there should be an option though for the people, if you know there's like heavily corruption, right?
Yes.
Is whether to make sure that none of those people go back into office. If we know that, like, let's just say 100% all 20 people were part of it, right?
2 terms.
Yeah. Well, for 2 terms or at least, the 4 years, right? We know what
Two
they
terms.
did.
2 terms max. So 8
Hmm.
years total, but you can only go as 4. And
Oh, yeah.
this being said and done, uh, like you see what I'm saying? Like we're already talking about this. Think about the features of it.
Yeah.
How much utility do we get out of it?
Yeah.
Because
That's also the.
the police are no longer just state police, but they can also be federally regulated.
Hmm.
So, like, if so for example, right, marijuana is it legal in all the states in America?
Not all of them. Technically,
It is illegal. So if you
yeah.
have marijuana, you cannot own guns. You cannot, drive a vehicle. You committed perjury if you own guns because it's,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. At the same time, you can still get arrested for smoking pot. Even in the states, it is legal because it is federally illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that is like specifically by economical wise that yes, it may be legal on your own state, but federally, no. You can be screwed the same way.
Yes, but with making the police like this, the police are still state and
Hmm.
they that they still follow the state laws, and it will be easier for us to make it so that like all the funding is in one place,
Mm-hmm.
so we can literally see all the money, distribute it as it is needed, and literally make the training universal. So,
True.
like, for example, let's just say in Alabama, the police are only trained using African mannequins that you have to shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's ran by white supremacists.
Mm-hmm.
Those standards would be, you know, heavily fucking raised to make it so that that shit is not acceptable.
Oh yeah.
So, like, we could, like, dive into police training as a whole and raise the standard for all of them. So this way we don't have those fat, lazy ass cops in Uvalde who let an active shooter shoot up a school for 45 minutes
Oh yeah.
while they were in the hallway using hand sanitizer and scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah, I get you. It would be necessary, like with those. It would be important for those regulations when you think about it.
Now we
Honestly, to prevent.
can make it so that the police are held more liably, right? So like
Yeah.
let's say for example, I'm a cop, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have a gun. And do keep in mind, yes, the mag is loaded, but there's nothing in the chamber. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing in the chamber. Entirely clear.
Mm-hmm.
Clear firearm. Okay? So, I have a firearm. Tom, I'm a cop. Get on the ground. He has a gun. Pop, 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 pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So I just shut you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes on the news. It goes everywhere. It goes viral. Everyone hates me. Oh no. Yeah. What
Mm-hmm.
happens to the cop right now in our real life?
They could be
No.
or not. I don't know.
They get fired. They transfer to a different fucking police station in a different state.
Mm-hmm.
They could go to jail. That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But
But more
it's
likely not.
because the officer completed that the cell phone that was in your hand, I misinterpreted as a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You also forget I have qualified immunity.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? You're dead, motherfucker. I
Oh
can
yeah.
go be a cop in another state, or I just got my retirement and I'm 30 or something like that, and I can go kick back, relax, and just like, well, the taxpayers get to pay my retirement.
Oh yeah.
There's 30 years early.
Mm-hmm. That's just very crazy. I
Yeah,
think honestly there is should be like restrictions for sure.
exactly. And that's what this committee could do because it could add in new implementations for enforcement of the enforcers.
Mm-hmm. Would you also like make an option like for the people like let's just say they create a law, right? For cops, right? Or certain restrictions, right? Like but that comes into question even though it got passed through.
I,
Would you give the option for the people to let's see what's the word for it? There's an answer for the word.
I don't even know what you meant.
Challenge it. Like challenge the law itself or this restriction.
For like the people.
Yeah, for the people.
I would say the committee or
Mm-hmm.
the top motherfuckers are able to challenge it, not the individual people. But like, all right, so let's say for example, yeah, you were killed. I'm a cop. It's all bad. Public is on arms fighting me. The
Mm-hmm.
committee looks at it. They interview me, the police. They got our interviews. It doesn't matter either which way. They investigated it. Yeah, they look at all the details, all the fine lines, all the dots, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
If they think I'm guilty, I'm fucked. because then they could just like, yo, we find this guy guilty, Congress, do your magic.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can just be like, we find him guilty, throw him in prison.
Mm-hmm.
But like they would dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and do everything that is needed. And if we, as a people, were not happy with the response,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't mean as in like just like, you know, 1,000 people, I mean like, an actual held fucking vote. So like if we opened it up to the entire American population and like 40,000 people voted and 30,000 voted yes, they're fucked, and then 10,000 voted, I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then the cops fucked
Mm-hmm.
because the majority who voted they're fucked.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I understand
It's like,
fucking vote at the same time, so it's fun.
yeah, it's more of an option. Like I know that it would be pretty interesting, but also when you think about it, certain laws that the committee makes too would be pretty interesting too.
Well,
Like just
the
let's
laws
just
that
say,
are being voted by the committee, they
yeah,
cannot implement new laws on their own without the public agreeing upon it. That's the cool thing about it. So like
yeah,
let's
that's I was coming to question.
let's say we're a committee, okay? Let's say you're the
Mm-hmm.
Republican, I'm the Democrat, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're 10, I'm 10. We're even numbers. And then let's say we came up with a new law saying we want body camera footage across the board for every
Mm-hmm.
officer in every detail. If it is requested, it is free,
Mm-hmm.
but we will have it censored for any public information. Sorry, not public, for any private information, such as like if I had a normal civilian and they handed the officer their ID, we censored the video for their ID. If they say their address, they are censored. If they say their phone number, their legal name, it is censored.
Mm-hmm.
Privacy. We implement that law, right? Like all body camera footage is free. We censored the private information. We don't want anyone doxxed. We don't do any of that. We can even have it all posted on a fucking YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we as the group, if I agree and you agree on it, then
Mm-hmm.
we would have to publicize it,
Mm-hmm.
get the majority of the people, or as many as we possibly could, to like say, hey, this is the new thing. Y'all vote, tell us yay or nay, just like the presidential elections type shit, where like people
Mm-hmm.
would go and vote, or we could like host it like digitally, and have like a live fucking feed of like the votes and action.
Mm-hmm.
So like when your vote is being published, you can see that number tick up.
Yeah.
Get it? So like
Yeah, that
we could do all that shit. And with all this being said and done, all that, the public decides upon the law. It's the committee to implement the law across the board, across the nation.
mm-hmm.
See my point now?
Yeah. That's what I'm asking because I know there's some that can just slip right through that.
But they can't make a law and just have it passed.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is with it is that that's like the first initial step. If the general public wants it, the committee agreed upon it and then advertised it and then people voted upon it and everything was fine, it still has to go to Congress.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So like even if this committee wanted to make a new law and they found a loophole or whatever and they just made a new law,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? It still has to go to fucking Congress.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
We'll just have to see for sure on that system wise for sure. But it is a thought.
Yeah.
It's just like a food for thought for some people.
I have it done in a week. No.
Okay. But just a little heads up, everyone. It's not just saying like we want it now or something like that. It's like it has to be that way. It's just it's thoughts, little thoughts.
These are ideas that we can talk about, expand our knowledge base upon, and dive into it and improve upon a system. There's no way to improve upon something if you don't talk about it.
And either way, every like way of system can be perfect or can be improved.
Yeah,
Same way, it's just thoughts. Like
yeah.
literally anyone can say, "Oh well, I object. How about we do this?" And it's like it's fair as long as it's good for the public. It is good for them. As long as there's no such thing as corruption at some point in the future.
You want to know one law I truly love?
Mm-hmm.
So, here in America, what's the age of consent? 18.
There are two, oh yeah, 18. There are two in states
What?
which are the age of consent. Remember, certain states actually, even though the age of consent is 18, some say 16. So it
Okay,
just
well, those
depends.
states are fucked. I say it's 18 up, but
Yeah, I would say 18, yeah, and up too.
yeah,
It's just
but
it's fucked up when to hear that one.
like Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
The age of consent in Japan was 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mexico was 12.
Damn.
Here's the law I absolutely love.
Mm.
If you were one of those fuckers who would go around to like Japan or Mexico and try and sleep with underage women or children, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you have committed offense against the United States.
Mm.
You go to jail. You have to be on the registry. You are now fucked. Also, I only learned about this because Japan raised the age limit.
Oh yeah, I heard about that, and people were like, finally, throughout like many years that they've been screaming for, they finally got an update.
Yeah, I still think it should be higher, but
Mm.
that law here in America makes it so that people can't like, oh, I want to go sleep with a 16-year-old. I'm gonna go to Japan.
Oh yeah.
They can't do that
Well,
because they get arrested in the States or back at in Japan. They get taken to U.S. Embassy and then deported, and they're still in prison in the States.
it's good that at least the law actually makes states that like you are responsible for what you do.
I
So
absolutely love that fucking law.
yeah, it's a good law. Like honestly, that part did come good with that with the United States.
I got the
Honestly,
hiccups.
huh?
I got the hiccups.
Oh, okay. but but yeah, it's true. Like there's has been a lot of people trying to think of breaking the law that way, and it's messed up.
See, no matter what, there's always a way to break a certain law in a certain way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
The thing about it is that I believe moral values should be held higher.
Mm.
People should be held to a higher standard. Yeah, so like if you're gonna go and love on a child, I believe they should
Hmm.
be castrated.
Mm. Fair.
Like straight up, like you want to be like that? Come on, we're gonna treat you like a dog. You know?
Yeah, well, prison systems have that already.
Yeah, but no little snip snip. I'm talking rubber band. Let that shit tie. Hold it there for like until it falls off.
Hmm. Same. But yeah, it makes sense. Like I said, honestly, I think that should a moral stance is necessary. And I think I don't know what goes on to those people's minds. I don't know if it's the same way with their part, but
Oh, see, this is where I like my fun information because I have studied this. There is a dude who has been convicted of, child loving, and
hmm.
he was interviewed,
Hmm.
and they asked him particular questions. And one question in particular, I forgot what the question was, but I think it was like something along like, "What do you look for?" or like, "What do you look to avoid?"
Hmm.
And the child lover. I don't even know who the fuck the person is, but it's like some elderly dude.
Hmm.
He said that he looks for the parents and the father. And if he deems the father a threat, he will avoid that family.
Damn.
So, guess what, people?
Mm,
That whole movement where they're telling you, like, oh, be a man, show your emotions, show you care, express yourself, go painting, like express yourself, open yourself, be loving, caring, show your family love. Don't be masculine. Toxic masculinity is bad.
mm,
That's the same dude who actually supports LGBTQ men.
mm.
And there's another thing is that there was a video of these LGBTQ participants, and they made a video, and they're like, we're coming for your kids. And then it would like spread to like four people. And it's like, we're coming for your kids. And then it would like go to 16 people. It's like, we're coming for your kids. And then it goes like to 32. And the screen just like gets zoomed out. And you just see more and more and more fucking web cameras of just these people saying that they're coming for your kids.
Mm.
Like,
It's a uncomfortability, that's for sure. But
yeah, but it's like,
um,
I'm just saying, welcome to America. Come for my kids, man. I got 3 American flags hung up. There's more guns in one room than there is one person.
mhm.
I have
But
options.
mhm. Honestly, it is a difficulty like on those concepts too. Just so you know, I'm not like saying it's 100% the LGBT community's fault too, because honestly, it goes all around everywhere, regardless whether
Yes,
you're straight, whether you're in a religion, whether so on and so on. The thing is the matter of fact of pinpointing who the individual is as a person.
yes. But
And
that's also being said, fuck the public schools. They're doing the shit too. There's a public teacher in Georgia, who
mhm.
was an English teacher and flat out, was stating that um, child loving is a disorder and that they should not be prosecuted or judged upon, and that they should be accepted into our community.
That part that is messed up if you were to think of it. But honestly, at the same time, it is a disorder, but it is not something to look on to say they belong to someone. That is something way off, like a 180 as well too. So it's like, bruh, you should not be lumping that, like honestly,
It's
in
a
general.
but it will still ruin a person's life. So therefore, they
That's
should not
why.
be accepted. If you are going to
Yeah.
ruin a person's life, they should not be accepted into our society. Because what is more valuable? A dude in their fucking 40s who's a child lover to like 5-year-old girls or whatever. And keep in mind, that English teacher said that it doesn't matter if they want to love a 5-year-old. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
legit words. I showed you the fucking video.
Yeah, I was like, that's messed up. Honestly, in its own, it's a concern because it's like that's what the LGBT community been complaining about. Like they don't want those people, honestly, and they hate to be lumped up with those people, 100%.
But see,
And then
there are
when they hear it from someone else that's kind of part of it or who's not part of it, right?
yeah.
It makes a stain to them,
But
and it's like, dude,
there's two different LGBTQ communities. There are two different ones.
oh yeah, like I said, just the same way as straight people, religion people, there are two varieties like of differences. One the extremist, one that are actually normal, ones that do care. And it's just messed up how the extremist part of it is saying, "Oh, let's fuck up everything." I'm like, "Bruh, you're making about look for everyone at this point, including straight people and LGBT community, basically."
Exactly. Like, it's just all stupid bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Like that's the reason why the misconception there is very hard. And that's why I hate when I hear like some people say, well, it's the LGBT's community fault. I'm like, which one? Because it's not just one. One, there's another one that do care and are tracking down and removing that. They hate those people. The extremists are the issues, and we can tell who's not part of who
Yeah.
at all.
So it's like,
And
do you support maps or do you not support maps?
yeah, and I hear a lot from the normal side saying they don't. And then when you hear the other, it's just all extremists, which are a small percentage, of course, but
Yeah.
it's still crazy how they still have their voices heard. I'm like, bruh, none of us want to hear that.
So if you want to cancel anyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't need to cancel, people who are just doing their job or, maybe like they said some bad words like neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to cancel someone, cancel maps. Anyone who supports maps. I'm not just talking about the identifiable number of minor attracted peoples, but I'm saying like the United States map, the Korean map. No, I'm joking. But like canceling maps as a whole, could you imagine like in video games they canceled the fucking game map?
Oh god,
Sorry.
I can imagine.
But literally the actual thing of maps, like the thing
Yeah,
on Twitter that everyone's raging about, like, oh maps, it's awesome. I'm just like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
yeah, I hate those on Twitter. Like it's just a shit, like shit fest on that. Honestly, it's not no longer Twitter. It's called X now, but which is a new brand. I don't know why, but they could have just kept with the word Twitter.
I don't know. I think the
That's a
last
whole
time I was on
different.
Twitter was 2018.
Oh yeah, right now it's called X. So
I don't
if
know.
you see an update on that, it's like it's literally an X.
I honestly got thought that was Facebook that turned to X.
Some people were planning that, and apparently Facebook was rejected from that, so they just kept it as it is.
I don't know. I don't really care about the social media giants.
Yeah, but as far as I know, yeah, you got to determine and the difference. So just anyone that thinks one another, you got to question whether what part, who's the individual, and why.
Yeah.
If you can question all those moralities, you can find the difference between who's the good and who's the bad. And that also comes to question on who do you accuse, who are you referring to? Because some people get that confused too. Because when one's talking about it, is like, do you mean that community or do you mean the other? You have to always be specific.
But with all this being said and done,
Mm-hmm.
do you have anything else to add to this?
Not really. Honestly, it's just to add on to all the rest of it. Yes, all of it, which you explained about maps, is really bad in its own.
Yeah.
They should not belong to the LGBT community at all. They should have never. And I'm going to say that because it goes on both ways, including like when some people debate. I'm like, oh, what about the religion? Like, religion has its different aspects too, just depends which one you go to. But there are people there too. So it's the matter of just the individual at the end of the day who is the one initiating.
But I mean,
And at
like,
that point,
something else beautiful about the Americas,
mm-hmm.
you can practice any religion here. You can be a Satanist.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you are not hurting another person,
Mm-hmm.
you are entirely fine.
Oh, yeah. The religion is another aspect we will talk about later if it's even accepted to say it. But
Yeah.
uh,
But like that's the thing, right? Like
mm-hmm.
if you are hurting a person, there's a problem. If you are not hurting a person, do whatever the fuck you want. As long
Oh,
as
yeah.
you're hurting a person, you'll be fucked.
Oh, yeah. The one rule I always hate, and I always say this in good model with everybody, is like you said, as long as it doesn't hurt the person, you're okay. As long as you don't force the person to say, oh, you have to agree, then you're okay. But if you can't follow those two simple rules, then you ain't no spiritual or religious person. You are a like monster because at that point now you're just pushing and you're putting some people into harm at that point.
Yeah. So, is there anything else we want to add?
No, I think we're good with that at that point.
Okay, because we gone over
Yeah.
by 28 minutes.
It's fair.
Yeah. I was trying to fit to your time schedule.
Oh no, you're good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
to everyone who has tuned in during or after the fact, it really does mean a lot. Thank you guys. Please, everyone, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay you. And I do hope you enjoy. So please have a good one.
Peace, everyone.
And peace. The description's down below. Click them. Like, subscribe, comment down below.
Yep.
I don't know. We're on the stream ending thing. It's a little. I don't
I
know.
just got I got a cut off mine. Yeah, it's fine. Either way, I'll stream later on today. I was playing this stream a different game.
Oh, good. I plan to go eat, get incredibly drunk, watch Rick and Morty, and pass the fuck out of my chair.
Nice.
America.